He averages about 31.5 points a game. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah, game in and game out. Certain players find themselves constantly in the middle of the contact. Draymond is one of them.
And from technical fouls, Tim, to flagrant fouls, it always seems like Draymond Green is walking that line and in the crosshairs.
Walking that line or stomping on that line. I don't know what, but it's where he seems to want to live. You love that competitive fire. You just have to make sure it doesn't cross the line where he hurts his team.
But don't you think he knows exactly what he's doing at all times?
He understands most officials don't want to give him that second technical, that's for sure.
That's what he gives you, a big-time presence on the glass.
And you know what, Greg? Once he gets his hands on it, he's not even thinking about kicking it out.
Well, defensively, you've got to put a body on him. That guy will ruin you on the offensive glass.
Right now, let's take a moment here to catch up with Allie LaForce on the sideline.
I had a chance to catch up with Chauncey Billups. I asked him the obvious, is there anything you can do to slow down Jokic? He was surprisingly candid with his plan, and he said they want to force him to switch out onto the perimeter shooters, hoping that he expends a lot of energy and create favorable mismatches. Kevin, back to you.
All right, Allie, thank you so much for that.
Well, if you don't take care of the ball, fellas, that's what can happen.
Absolutely, Greg. That makes the turnover even more painful.
All it takes is a half second of carelessness, and someone will be rocking the rim going the other way.
Here's Wembanyama.
Some defenders aren't sure what to do when Wembanyama comes down the lane.
This is his first free throw of the game. And he can't get the first one.
Wow, what, did he have something in his eye on that shot?
Maybe. And it's Jokic in the corner. It's stolen by Wembanyama. Nembhard's shot is good. And now we'll get a perspective here on how the hustle game has been going for Seattle.
I mean, they've come out aggressive defensively, getting into them and coming up with some cookies along the way.
Well, don't forget about their scoring in the open floor. They've been getting a lot of production on their break.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Drills the three-pointer.
And he likes to get in a rhythm early. Nice triple.
Pass to Eason. Wembanyama outside. Clock at 6. Back to Thibault. They double-team Wembanyama. No good from the wing. Here's Williams. And it's Williams finishing it off.
One of the best passing bigs the league has to offer. If you're open, Jokic will find you.
And Draymond Green picks up the foul. That's his first foul.
First personal foul. Second team foul.
Wembanyama outside. And it's Thibault in the corner. To the paint. Taken away by Williams.
Well, they tried to punch the ball inside right there, but the window closed quickly. That's great defense. Oh, man, I wish I played in this era with all of this space.
They double-team Wembanyama. Pass to Eason. Now Wembanyama. Thibault on the wing. Wembanyama. Great positioning on the putback.
Yeah, you have to be aware of Wembanyama on the boards. Really keep a body on him.
And there's the call on Matisse Thybulle. That's foul number 2 for him.
Well, this is a tough choice here. You want to trust him as a coach, but that's his second early foul.
Pass to Christie. Back to Reddish. Shot clock at 6. On the wing, Green. He nails it, and we're tied up.
Yeah, great outside shooting, really fueling this run.
Good drive by Wembanyama. And there it is for him. Wembanyama's got 5 points so far.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range. And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
That's out of bounds. Seattle will retain possession. We've got 22 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Pass to Wembanyama. And the basket is good, and he's got a chance here for one more at the line.
And this kid is tough. Wembanyama just powering it in despite the contact.
This is his 3rd free throw attempt of the game. Now Reddish to the right side. Got it off in time. And so it's Victor Wembanyama making things happen for the Supersonics. He notched 8 points.
17.
Some good action already in this one, but a fairly even matchup after the first quarter of play. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen from Seattle. Guys?
Hey, why take jump shots when you can get your points at the rim?
Had a feeling this was going to be their strategy coming in. They've got a major size advantage to be able to execute this.
In the corner, it's Eason. Pass to Nembhard. And here's Caldwell Pope. Wembanyama outside. 6 to shoot. That's tipped. It's stolen by Reddish. Here's Jokic. Eason grabs the board.
Well, the defense was solid, but usually I expect him to make that layup.
An intentional foul committed, but for what purpose, Greg? I'm not sure.
A scene of confusion right there. I can't imagine why he thought it was a good idea to foul there.
Bible on the wing. Ball's knocked loose.
That's 2 really unproductive trips in a row, ending in turnover.
And guys, I don't know that this is the time for that kind of flair. In a close game, the important thing is to get the 2 points, not necessarily the dramatics.
Oh, come on. He had to go for that, didn't he? My goodness. Bible for 3. He's just scored his first basket with that shot, making him 1 for 4.
And we're playing about as much defense as they did there. Not nearly enough. Oh, man!
That is not possible. What we just... is that possible?
I think it is, Greg. Not probable, but like possible, like you said.
Well, the defense was a little soft right there, and it made it a practice shot.
Here's Reddish.
Oh, nice!
Look at that. And that is a punch to the jaw. This game, as tight as it can be, and he pulls something off that we might not even see in the All-Star game.
Ooh, well, I don't think he planned it too far in advance. That was one of those things, you know, Greg, that just happens. And so Chauncey Billups decides to call timeout. Coach is going to talk some things over with the team. Might be seeing something to adjust.
You know, they don't want to give the ball handlers any room.
And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Green. Here's Wembanyama. Oh, flexing Wembanyama!
And this is what you want to see. Wembanyama attacking with authority inside.
Christie. And he dunks it down.
Well, they're trying to take command of this game, but it's been competitive so far.
We see this in the NBA all the time. It is very difficult to keep a lead in this league.
And stolen by Dunn. Here in the second quarter, about 3 minutes played. Up top, Reddish. And Reddish with the slam.
Oh boy, to be young again.
Makes you nostalgic, doesn't it? Seattle trails by 3. Caldwell Pope outside. And he finishes nicely on the layup. Caldwell Pope's got 5 points now in the quarter.
Yeah, and then knifing into the middle. Caldwell Pope, not just a perimeter threat. Young fella can elevate.
Tim, you know you've played it for so long. The intensity of competition can lead to some heated communication, even between those on the same team.
Oh, Kevin, believe me, in the 10 years I played in the league, you often see that between teammates because you have highly competitive individuals who aren't always going to see eye to eye.
But don't you think that's good, though, that competitive tension that may exist within a team?
It creates an edge, Kevin, that you need to win in this league.
Back to Wembanyama. And Wembanyama with the flush.
And a monster game for Wemby with the matchup issues he creates. I'm not sure anyone in this league can stop him when he's on.
And it's Jokic missing.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
Caldwell Pope with a wide open look. Drops in the tray. Caldwell Pope's got a pair of triples in the second now for the Sonics. Here's Reddish. And so the timeout by Jamal Mosley here. This now will give him a chance to discuss some potential changes. Right wing. Back to Reddish. Shot clock at 5. They kick it out to Green. It's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. To the inside. Here's Wembanyama. And no good. Had a chance to take the lead there. It's stolen by Nembhard. There's 31 seconds left to play here in the half. Back to Caldwell Pope. 6 on the shot clock. They double team Wembanyama. Seattle needs to get off a shot. Jokic with the steal. Over in the corner, Christie. And a close game so far through the first 2 quarters as we reach halftime. Up 1. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half. And if you're just joining us, we've played through the first half in a game that's been fairly even so far. Here's Reddish. And Reddish with the slam.
And that is a great move off the baseline and a big-time play at the basket.
Agreed. Fantastic reverse dunk. Had to get up high for that one. And Green gets it to go.
Well, if Green is taking quick shots like that, it speaks to how confident he is.
Reddish with the double team. And so Chauncey Billups decides to call timeout. Coach needs a moment to talk things over. One of the best defenders of his generation, Tim, do you think Draymond Green will be a surefire Hall of Famer?
Well, he's a former Defensive Player of the Year, and not to mention a key contributor on 4 Warriors championship teams. Kevin, he will be in the Hall of Fame, no question.
And Reddish with the slam.
Well, if you don't take care of the ball, fellas, that's what can happen.
Absolutely, Greg. That makes the turnover even more painful.
All it takes is a half second of carelessness, and someone will be rocking the rim going the other way.
How about the show Wemby's putting on here? When he gets it going, Victor is pretty much unstoppable.
Here's Jokic, and he banks in the layup. Jokic has got 6.
And still perfect in the second half. 4 straight makes.
Vital for 3. And you have to like how they're moving the ball right now.
Snappy passes to ready shooters. It's basketball 101, but boy, is it working. But only the first miss of the second half. They've come out here with authority.
Good on the three-point shot. 14 points for him.
And he's just living out beyond the arc right now. What a weapon to have on the floor.
And he's keeping the game within striking distance. I don't know where they'd be without his shooting.
Nice answer back there. Love to see the competitiveness.
And when you give up a 3, there's always this instinct to try and get it back immediately.
Caldwell Pope outside. Back to Wembanyama. And the call up against Jokic. That is his first foul of the game. Nembhard with it, and it's Reddish picking him up. 6 to shoot. For 3, Caldwell Pope. And it's Jokic with the rebound.
Not quite enough defense. That time around, just lucky he was off.
Outside, Green. And the foul on Tari Eason. That is his first foul of the game.
First team foul.
Well, we're into the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes played. Over in the corner, Williams. Just 5 to shoot. Here's the screen. Christie has the open look. A three-pointer is right on target. Christie's got 12 points in the game. Taken away by Williams. And here's the fast break. And now, Allie LaForce has something for us from the sideline.
Well, Commissioner Adam Silver talked about U.S. youth development in hoops. He said when young players are a part of a singular organization, there's much more of an incentive to bring players along as opposed to a win-now mentality, and that's something that we can learn from Europe. Back to you, Kevin.
Taking that long view approach. Okay, thank you, Allie. And there's the call on Matisse Thybulle. And that'll be his third foul so far.
And you can see he just didn't get squared up with his feet.
To the left side wing. Back to Reddish. And Reddish with the slam.
Oh, reversed it home. That was pretty.
Agreed. The agility on display. Here's Williams. And the rejection by Wembanyama.
2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes.
Here's Eason. Caldwell Pope for 3. Good for another bucket. He's made half a dozen now. 6 for 8 on the night. A minute 42 left to play in the third. Seattle trails by 7. 17-foot shot on the way. It falls for his 7th bucket of the contest. He's 7 for 9.
And Caldwell Pope able to hit those mid-range shots consistently. But that's one the defense will live with.
Jokic with the bucket.
Well, he's done everything you want offensively. Great shot selection, and he is a big reason why they have the lead.
And yes, it's good. Nembhard's got 6 points.
And not being as aggressive
from the three-point line anymore. They had a lot more attempts in that first half.
Here's Reddish. And Reddish with the slam.
Making the most of the screen. That's how it's done.
And it's in the perfect spot, Greg. Frees him up to get all the way to the bucket.
Yeah, not only does he create the space he needs, but then he attacks downhill.
Back to Dunn. Jokic high post. Here's Reddish. And out of bounds as the Sonics gain possession.
Not sure what exactly happened there. It didn't look like they were on the same page.
And so Chauncey Billups decides to call timeout. He's going to make some adjustments to the game plan. Here's Dinwiddie. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Gordon with no one around. That falls. Nice feed that time from Dinwiddie.
So many of Gordon's shots come from three-point range because he drains so many of them. When you've had his kind of success from beyond the arc, you're always going to have the green light.
Pass to Jokic. Jokic just takes what he wants inside. Amazing.
And obviously his momentum from the last game has carried over here tonight.
When someone is rolling like this, just keep feeding him. That's just great coaching.
50 seconds.
And with 3 quarters behind us, we start the 4th quarter in what is still anybody's ball game. It's stolen by Reddish. On the wing, Green. Back to Reddish. Pass to Jokic. Fires from deep. It's hauled in by the Sonics. And that'll be the middle game of their 5 and their longest homestand of the year.
He runs so well for his size. Wembanyama knows how to finish on the break.
Now Christie. Here's Jokic. Back to Reddish. There's the 3. It's good from long range. Reddish has got 11 in the second half.
That's his first from distance this half, which gives him 3 for the night.
And I like the way he's settled down here. I mean, after the sloppy first half, he's done a much better job taking care of the ball.
A few possessions into the 4th quarter, just over a minute played. Sinks the three-pointer.
Defensively, you can't afford to give him that kind of look, especially down this many points.
One more miscommunication at the defensive end. Just brutal. It can't happen.
Nembhard with it. Shot clock at 6. Pass to Wembanyama. Caldwell Pope for 3. Now here's Reddish. Back to Dunn. Takes the 3. Drains it from beyond the arc. Tim, I can hear it in my head right now. You've called Steph Curry must-see TV. Does anyone from this next generation maybe approach that description for you?
Well, Kevin, certainly Victor Wembanyama would be at the top of that list. You're talking about a one-off when you combine that size with that particular skill set. And then Anthony Edwards would be another guy because of the explosiveness and excitement that he brings every single night.
It'll be exciting to see this next generation and see if they do impact it like the ones before, for sure.
And sweet drive there. KCP, a smooth operator with terrific straight line speed.
Launches a 3. Reddish's shot is good. Reddish has got 28.
Well, and this has been their strategy to throughout the fourth period. We'll see how it pans out.
Well, they are hunting deep shots, but they'll take the layup if you give them one.
And Nembhard has it in the corner. And they're pushing it up. Reddish with the ball. Now guarded by Caldwell Pope. Right there, the defender clearly trying to inhibit a fast break. I think that's a transition take foul. Tim, the NBA is always changing, but any predictions for the league that you kind of feel we're going to see around the corner?
Yeah, Kevin, I just think the influx and the impact of international players is going to be even stronger going forward. I think a lot of guys have seen the success that those players have had in the NBA, and hopefully it inspires even more great players internationally to want to play this great game.
And for a short time, you played overseas. You saw a lot of them firsthand.
I sure did, and I was in France well before the French influx really hit this league, but I knew then that was the goal.
The response, slamming it home.
At this point, I don't know what you can do to slow this team down.
Well, they've gotten the matchup they want every time up the floor, and they have taken advantage of that.
And there is a whistle. That goes on Andrew Nembhard. That's his first foul. Draymond missed on the three.
And I thought that was going to drop. It looked good from here.
They double-team Wembanyama. From deep, the three goes down.
Well, the defense needs to be better there. They gave way too much space.
And here's Jokic. Shoots the three. Knocks down the three.
They're in total command of this game with time starting to run out.
And this is where you really want to be mindful. No turnovers, no sloppy play.
Williams outside. Hits the three-point bomb.
Zaire Williams.
It's been this way since halftime. Tremendous production from beyond the arc.
They have found a weakness in the defense, and it's on their ability to defend the three-point line.
Greg, we've had a couple of NBA Cups in the book already. What have you thought of it so far?
A little added excitement and interest early in the regular season, and I'm all for it. Between that and the play-in, I think the NBA's done a great job to kind of make every part of the calendar relevant.
Nikola Jokic.
He's putting on a show for these fans.
I can't believe he pulled that one out in the course of an actual game. Caldwell Pope right side. And there's a nice one-handed slam.
Now flying high and throwing it down with the one-hand.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
Zaire
Williams gets the bucket. Well, a huge bucket there to stifle the crowd.
Yeah, very little to cheer about for them at the moment.
Caldwell Pope for three. And that one's in. He's only missed 3 of 13. This could get even more out of hand if they continue to put up points.
Wow, Kevin, what a performance we are seeing.
And here is Williams. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation.
Seattle ball.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Now, Nembhard. Pass to Caldwell Pope. Back to Nembhard. Caldwell Pope outside. 5 to shoot. A shot by Nembhard, no good. The visiting club takes the win on the road.